Okay, so we got a little bit of understanding of page object model, right? So let's create some few more examples of it. Okay, so like from our login example, right? So we were before method, before function, going to open the browser, go to login page, login, click on the login main button, and then go to the admin, and then log in as an admin user. And then we're just adding these pauses for just for our demo purposes. For your you don't need to add this and it'll still work. So let's just kind of retrace this, right? So for example, what does this do, right? So how do we look at that? We just go back again, and then we look at our page utils. Okay, let me just close this. Okay, so let's just kind of retrace it. So again, our admin login, right? So you're gonna go to browser, set value. This is the selector, and you're gonna send these values in. Same thing with the ID and the password. And then you're gonna click on the login button, right? So that's what we did for the login. Now, so the whole point is that we're not going to repeat our code over and over again, and we can maintain it much better. So for example, let's say we want to add a product to cart, right? So let me open the site. Okay, so we're on the site, and let's say we want to add this product, this featured product. We want to add to cart. Okay, just want to add to cart and make sure that we're here. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. Okay, let me put this to the side. So first of all, we're going to need a new test case. Go here and it's going to open a new file. So let's just say we'll call it add to cart.js. Okay, now for the most part everything remains the same, I guess, from the before functions, and we're still calling. So we're going up one. This is what this does, right? So you're going to require the utils. So you're going to go up one test cases, then you go up more. So one, this one here, up one, 2, 3, then pages. And so up one goes test cases, then the second one goes to the R2 tools, then it goes to pages, and then in utils, right? So I mean, then that's how it knows. Okay, so we'll just, for now, we're just gonna copy this and paste it here. Okay, now we can just change this to add to cart, because for the most part this everything else remains the same. We just have to change the actual test cases, so we don't need this anymore, right? Before and after is fine. Okay, so let's begin. So we have to add another function here and then call it. So for example, we're gonna say something like add a featured product to cart, right? Function. Okay. So just like before, we need some sort of like a function here that we can call upon, right? So we can say something. Let's make it first, and we'll come back to this, right? So let's make the function here. We'll say this featured product add to cart, right? Something like that. Doesn't, you can name it anything you want, but I'm just gonna name a function. So browser dot. Okay, what we need to do? We need to click on it, right? We need to click on the main button. So let's go get the selector now. Okay, so from the website. Okay, let's see that. So we're gonna have to scroll here. We don't need to scroll, it can automatically find. So we'll do inspect element. Okay. Okay, so we need to inspect it and then to click on this button. Alright. So we're gonna be really careful and make sure that we get the right selector. So the ID is there. Let's see if this ID is dynamic. Does it change? And we'll refresh the page and see if this ID changes. Okay, 578, that seems to be fine. Okay, great. So we're gonna just, it's an ID, so you could do a hash, but I'm just gonna copy it for now. But so you could do like basically you could just do this and then whatever the ID name is, and it will work. But we'll just copy it just like that. So # add to cart 150 da da da. Okay, that's that. And then we'll add a semicolon here. Just a little sidetrack, guys. Visual Studio Code, all of these IntelliSense that I get is basically you can go here, and these are all extensions that you can get to like make to help you out with the code, and it'll help you like what's wrong with it. This is called ESLint or JS Hint. There's a lot of these different ones. I'll create another lecture for that separately. Okay, let's get back to this. Okay. All right. So we added this. So this seems fine. Okay, now we're gonna just copy that, and then we're gonna call it into our browser dot this function, right? Okay, and let's see. So all we need to do is click here. So everything else remains the same. We don't need to change it. If we need to do something else, we just add another function and then go from there. So let's that. So add to cart, and then let's see what happens. We're gonna save this as well. Okay, we're gonna open our terminal. Okay. All right. So now no Nightwatch. Press A, and then add to cart, which is the tag. Okay. Let's see. Browser is not defined. I think I made I see. So I made a mistake. Just have to put browser here. So remember to always like this helps me. Listen, I'm not the best coder or whatever. This is how you learn, trial by error. You figure out what's wrong, and then you fix it. You cannot. The only way you're gonna learn is by actually trying it out. If something fails, you figure out what's wrong with this. So browser is not defined, right? So I'm like, okay, well, where is it wrong? Okay, da da da. Add to cart, and I'm like, okay, well, let me look at the other file, right? The login here. I have a browser here. I'm calling the browser here. So you have to this is until you keep playing with this, and you have to keep testing it out. You won't learn it. So now you see it's running. There we go. Testing it out is part of the process, and that's how you're gonna build test cases. Because even if the ID is working, something will fail, and you have to try it again. The faster you're able to verify, the faster you're able to create your test cases. There we go, and it works. So cool. All right, so that's that. Okay, great. Now let's make another one. So add to cart works now. For example, well, let's do one more or a couple more actually. So let's see. Let's say this main button here. I want to click on the main shop now button, right? So let's see what this is. Make sure we get the correct CSS. Sometimes you won't. It depends on your developers and the app that you're running. You will always have a hard time figuring out where the selectors are. Okay, so that's the selector. Okay, for now, that's that. Okay, great. Let's just make another one. So we'll just call this here, this dot shop now button, right? We'll call that function. So we're just like, as soon as we see something, like, okay, let's make a test case, and we can just go ahead and start creating it. we have to click, right? And then, so we need a selector now. So let's go back. I'm going to copy the selector. Okay, so I think this should be fine. The select, that's the ID, okay. A semicolon there. Okay. So shop now button, and yeah. So I made a function for the shop now button. Now let's make a whole test case for that, right? So we'll go here. From the test case here, we're going to create a new file. Again, we'll call it shop now.js. Okay. So sort of the same thing. Boom. Okay, I'm gonna put it there. Now instead of this, I just have to add this button here, and let's see what happens. Okay. So let's see what happens. And we change the tag here into shop now. Save it. Right, we're just gonna click on that and then let's see. Oh, so we have to change this as well, right? We forgot to change. We change it here. The test case did pass. Let's see what happens real quick. Boom. All right, it works. So let's add a little bit more assertion, right? We know that it clicks on it, but like what we want to do is make sure, like, so right now this goes to bestsellers, right? So this goes to bestsellers. What if the company decides that it needs to go to, you know, a featured list or some sale or something like that? So we want to make sure that the business logic makes sense, right? So for example, what we want to do now is add a little bit more assertion to our case. So want to make sure that this title is bestseller for now, right? So we're going to add another. Now, where will we add that, right? So let me ask you, take a little time. If we need to add assertion, do we add assertions here, or we add assertions here in the shop now button? What do you guys think? Here. So we need to add it here because this will just stay there. So because it's related to shop now button and its functions, right? So we're gonna click on the main now shop now, and then what we want to do, for example, is something like, well, we want to wait for element visible, meaning, so this just, again, this is just to make sure that the page loads, right? Okay. See, the reason I'm getting it red here is because I need to take this out. There we go. And again, we might have to take, so that's that. Okay, so we'll do that. Now we need to add an assertion. So the way we add assertions is, let's go look at the, this is how I create the test cases, right? Something I need to do something. If I don't know, I look at the documents and then go from there. So for example, look, I clicked on the API reference and then client.assert.visible, client.assert, you know, so we need to make sure, right? We need to make sure that this text here for this selector, H1 tag is bestsellers, right? So how do we do that? So let's go back. We need to contains text. There we go. So browser.assert.contains text, right? So let's just kind of copy this. So we have our functions here. We're already doing that. Okay. So we can copy that, or let's just write it out for ourselves so we have a better understanding, right? So we're gonna say browser dot assert dot contains, sorry, let's see that again. Yeah, let's contain text. Okay, and in which selector? We're gonna go to this selector on the section 1h1 tag. I'm gonna copy the selector. Okay, seems right. Got the ID and goes in the div tag. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to say best sellers. That's what we want to assert, right? In this selector, we want to make sure that this is there, right? So let's check it out. Okay, I'm gonna save this, right? I don't need to change anything here. That's all done. Like, so that's the benefit of it, right? So for example, if something goes wrong, right, you can just come here and then change the selector, because the selectors, like, that's how, if something changes, you don't need to change the shop now button test case. You can just go into the utils and then change the function here, and because you'll be calling these functions over and over again, and if you had to do that, you'll have to go and change in all of your test cases, right? So if this browser changes, you have to change it here. Like, you don't have to change it here. You're gonna have to change it here. You're gonna have to change it all here, everywhere else. So you see my point, where that's the reason, that's the important, that's how like you're able to maintain it. Okay, got there. Nice. There we go. And it passed. All right, great. So that's that. Let's save this. Okay. So another one is completed. So we just finished shop now and add to cart. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do one more. Okay, let's do. Okay, do is earrings. So what we want to do in this test case is actually go. Okay, let's go back to our home page. Okay. So what we want to do is click on, for example, earrings, and then we'll click on pearl earrings, right? So if, for example, if this is a business case, right? For example, it would be like they would want us to click on every single link to make sure that they're working. Go here, click on. Now, if you need to check manually if everything is working, now that would take a long time. But if we automate that, that's the benefit. You know, you're able to do that. So for we do earrings, and we can do another one like that. So let's do one more. We're gonna click on earrings first, and we're gonna click on pearl earrings, right? So let's right click inspect element. Okay, let's create one more. We're gonna just copy everything else. Now we just need to change earrings, and then we're going to shop for pearl earrings. Okay. This is not the right one. We need to create something, so let's create something. Okay, first I need to go click on main. For example, I need to go click on the main earrings, right? I need to click on here, this button here. So let's see what I'm gonna do is click on this SVG. Let's see what happens. go back to the home page. So that's where we're going to land. Okay, is that click? Yeah. So this small little arrow thing, that's what we want to click on, right? So let's see what this is. Not that, yeah, almost, yeah, that one. Okay. All right, so we need this selector here, right? I'm gonna copy that, copy selector. Okay, now we're gonna call it this something like main earring header. Okay, that's what we copied. Save that. Let's see if let's check it out. At least this selector is working or not for now. Earrings, go to Pearl earrings. But before we go to Pearl earrings, we need to click on the main header. So let's go with that. Sorry, this is, I pasted it wrong. Oops. Here. Okay, great. It's clicking on that one. Okay. So it didn't click on that one. So okay, so we want to make sure. Let's go back again. Then we will click on this site now. Okay, let's try again. So that was wrong. So not that didn't work. We want to click on. Let's click on that. Let's see. Site nav. Even though it's showing me that, but I don't think that's. I want to go a little bit above, a little bit down here. Let's try that. Copy selector, and then go here. I'm gonna and then paste that. Site. So nav drop down nav active. Let's try that. Okay, I think I know what this one is. Okay, let's try that. No, it's going here, which is wrong. So I think I need to rethink it. Okay, let's go back here. We need to go is click on site nav. What is this one? Nav, and then click. Drop down. So this is a link. Okay, and this is the main one, ID. Okay, so let me explain a little bit on the CSS side how this can. So sometimes you're gonna face issues where you're gonna have a hard time doing copy selector. Just doesn't work, right? So I'm gonna show you this. Basically, it's a CSS selector. How do you make it? So what happens is what you can do. Sorry. Okay, so so here's what happens. So how do we kind of do that, right? So first is site ID. So let's make our selector, okay? Okay, So we know at least that the ID is that site nav. Okay. So the ID is site nav. Now, what we want to go is, the way you navigate the DOM is you go to the ID, then you want to go underneath the parent child. So this is the parent, so child relationship, right? So what you want to do is it's a li list, right? So this is, you see here, it's a li class list basically. So go the first one, the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, eighth one, right? Ninth, and that's how it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Now underneath it, for example, there's more list. See, UI and li list, and then that's let's take a look at our earrings, because okay, so from here, earrings, okay, look at it. If you look inside, so let me make it a little bigger. Okay, so right, so we're in earrings here, right? Underneath this site nav, we want to go to earrings, then we want to go to, sorry, not that one, okay, this one, yeah. So site nav drop down, okay, then we want to go, so that's this ID, then we want to go inside of that, to see, that studs, and this is the pearl earrings, right? So this is where our original location is. That's what we want to click on, right? But before we need to do that, we have to click on earrings like that, then click on pearl earrings, and then it goes to it, right? So let's try to write that if for like a custom CSS basically. So these are called custom selectors that we write ourselves. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna go to site nav, right? Then if we didn't know, we're just gonna go, this is the third one, right? So we can say we go to third. So this is how we say, we can say like li to the nth child, okay? And then we're gonna say 3, because 1, 2, 3, this is the earrings one, okay? Then we want, okay, so it goes to the third, sorry, 1, 2, 3 earrings, okay, earrings. Inside of earrings, I want to click on, I want to click on earrings, but I want to click on that, right? I want to click on that little drop down arrow thing, right? So okay, so we're gonna click on that SVG. So we're gonna go A, then SVG. Okay, so let's do that. A, and so A is the HTML attribute, and then ahref, and then SVG. All right. Whew, that was intense. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, it's sometimes you're gonna face these issues in real life where it's not as simple, you know, and the IDs are not, and you can't just copy paste it. It will work for the most part, but you know, you're gonna need this kind of being able to write your custom CSS selectors basically. Okay, so let's run it now. Let's see how that works. So if you were to do 4, then we'd go to necklace, and you see how easy it becomes. Once I need to know, then I can just go da da da, like every single one. If I need to click on every single one, I just gotta change 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it will just go and click on every single one of them and make sure that it works. And that's it. Look at that, it worked. Right, now we need to do sort of the same thing. So it clicked on the earrings, right? Now we need to click on, so we're gonna go here, okay, that's fine. We're gonna go inside it. So that we got to that part, fine. Now what happens when once we click that, we need to go inside that, which is, there we go. So let's close this up so we get a better idea. So you're really gonna need to start looking at HTML, the CSS selectors, writing dynamic CSS, dynamic XPath. That's sort of things that you're gonna need to learn. I will try to add it into the course as much as possible. But there definitely, please look online. There's so many good resources on how to write CSS and how to write selectors and things of that nature. Okay, so we need to click on Pearl earrings. Okay, so we're gonna have to go to, let's try to traverse the DOM. Basically, I think that's what it's called. So we're gonna go all the way from, not all that, not too long. Okay, we navigation, that's the whole thing. Site nav, we don't need to go that up. Okay, site nav earrings. Then, so we have to basically say li site nav. Let's see. Okay, from here, for now, let's just see if this works the easy way. If it doesn't work, we'll try to do it. Click. But once you start to realize that this is exactly what the copy selector does, if you take a look at it, so click, right? Let's take a look at this. So exactly what we kind of did here is what the copy, when you do copy selector on your Chrome, this is exactly, so it goes to site, that's the ID, right? So that's the ID, goes to UL element, underneath the UL element goes to li and end child 2 and then a. So let's look at the, okay, let me move that on this side. Okay, site nav label earrings, site nav label earrings, right? Underneath it, the UL, right, which is this, the unordered list. Okay, I think it's, yeah, unordered list. And then the list. So list 1, that's stud earrings. Then list 2, which is pearl earrings. List 3, chandelier, da da da. So see, again, it's another child 2. So it could be anything, and then it goes on the second one, and then clicks on the href, which is the hyperlink for that page, and that's what we need to do. So now that this should work. So let's try it again. Oops. Come on, come on. Yes, great, it worked. Awesome. So we clicked on pearl earrings, right? What I do want to do though is extract it out a little bit more on this side. So for example, something like this. Watch, I'll show you. So this function does two things. It goes on pearl earrings, but we want to just make sure that, what if we need to we need to go on each and every single one of this whole thing, right? Let's try to do this without even like, so it would become hard if you add all of these here and then it'll just go click on it, right? So instead, we're gonna extract this out. So this is how this is like refactoring the code basically. Cut. Okay, now I'm gonna write another function, and this is gonna go specifically just for pearl earrings. Pearl earrings. Oh, oops. Sorry. I already pasted it. Boom. Okay, that's that. Now I'm gonna, so it's gonna say click here. I'm gonna say click on main earring header. Okay, I'm gonna click on pearl earrings. Call this function here. Okay, so that's that. Now let's try it again. We'll see how we can build this upon now. You'll see in a little bit later. Okay. Boom. Nice, right? So it went in pearl earrings. Now what we want to do is click on we want to click on the chandelier, climbers, So let's write a few more in here, right? We're gonna say sort of the same thing. Now this is gonna be this is how we kind of scale it fast, right? Like watch this. Right, boom. We need is pearl earrings, then say let's say chandelier, and we're gonna say climbers. Then we're gonna say clip on, cuffs, French wires. Now let me ask you this, right? Do you think I need to go in every single one of them and like figure out what the element is and things like that? It would take forever, right? It would take so much longer. So copy selector, figure out. But if we understand the backend or we understand the list logic, how these selectors really work, then you know what? This becomes very easy because we know that it's just a list, right? These are just a list underneath it, and the way this Selenium WebDriver and it automates it, it clicks on it is through this selector, right? So we're on number 2, we're on number 3, we need to go 4, 5, 6. That's exactly what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna just copy it just so to show you guys. So for example, for chandelier, I'm gonna copy the selector. I'm just gonna, oops, not the pearl here. Right? Look at it, it's just 3, right? Then we can just do it 4, we can do it 5, and I will keep it consistent. So it clicks on the actual href. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? Now, so that's that. Okay, now let's check it out. So now we can do the same thing, copy, right? Instead of pearl earrings, now oops, that was pearl. Okay, so we're gonna go to chandelier. I'm just gonna chandelier earrings and copy that to here. I'm gonna go to climbers. So you see if you can like basically if I need to go click on every single menu, I can go ahead and then do that without having to like rewrite the code over and over again. If something changes, I can go and fix it really quick. Okay, and that's that. Okay, great. Now let's kind of a little bit go into what this is doing. Oh, sure, sorry. Anyways, but it's gonna click on this and click on the pearl earrings. Click on chandelier, but we need to add something here because if you notice, it's it's not going to have, it's not, what's basically happening at this point is, so this is something that you have to keep kind of think about, is how the browser will be working, right, without actually doing it. So this is trying to save time and not debugging all the time. So you're gonna open the browser, you're gonna click on Pearl Earrings. So you're on this page at this point here, you're at this page. You want to click on Chandelier, right? All you're doing is clicking on this. Now, that's may not work because here's the thing: you have to click on the thing. You have to click on main earrings header first, then click on Chandelier, right? Same thing. Once you're here, you have to click on this again, then click on the clip-on. So now what we can do is something like this. We add that functionality to it, because we know that's what we're doing. That's in this, that's a drop down. So we're gonna go, that's it. Okay, all right, let's see this in action. Crossing my fingers. Oops, sorry. Browser not defined. 1 second. Make a mistake again. Oh, whoops. Sorry, guys. Okay. Boom. Sweet. There we go. And click through every single one, right? Okay, so that's that. So as you can see, now it's so much easier to maintain, because just like how we did here, right? A shop now button, for example, we clicked on the bestsellers and we made an assertions, right? So we could similarly, there's no assertion being passed, but we can go and do that if we need to. That's our test case. But for now, at least we're confident that it's going to go to each and every single earring and then make sure that the page is loaded, basically. Well, we could add it make sure this, basically we add this here for every single link here, for example. We just add it into our case, basically, because this will actually do an assertion, make sure that the page is actually loaded, and make sure the element of the body of the page is loaded. And so that's something that we want to make sure, because otherwise it can click on it, but if nothing is there, it's not, the test case is still going to pass, but you're not gonna actually test what you're not, if something fails, you're not gonna know, basically. So there we go. Now let's run it again one more time. See, assertion is passed. Assertion is passed. Right? It's so much better now, right? And then it actually tells you how long it took to see the page visible. Like you see, like different pages takes different time. Pearl earrings takes 240 milliseconds, while like cuff earrings only takes 174 milliseconds to load. Okay, great. All right, guys. So we got most of the page object model, and it's important to learn about the CSS selectors and how they work, and page object model, and then being able to look at the APIs, looking at the documentation for what you need to do, and then go from there. Okay, so in the next lecture, let's add some reporting to this, and then we'll go from there. Okay, guys. Thank you.